Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Want to give you an update on our custom 58 Corvette. Redid a lot of refurbishing on some things and finished up some stuff. This will probably be the last update before we have our final assembly. So I want to share with you where we are and how we got there. Stick around, guys. Okay guys, let's start in the trunk. First thing we did, if you recall, was gut the trunk area. Originally I started this thing about probably 12 years ago, 14 years ago, something like that. And it was just between the dust, the dirt, it just wasn't right. So I took everything out, cleaned it up really good, dusted out all the areas and buffed it up, and there's still a little dust settled on it there. But redid everything. The nitrous bottles were just so-so. It wasn't really faded. It just didn't look right. So wrapped around the decal area just a post-it note, something that's low tack, and then just shot another coat of the blue. Same thing down here, and you see the straps holding the bottles down. You know what? Let me share that with you real quick. That is something I picked up a long time ago, and I picked it up in about 3 or 4 different widths. But this is pinstripe tapes, and this is 04 brushed silver, which is kind of a chrome look. Now you see how thin that is? And you'll see I use this even on the 30, let me grab the 30-second scale there a minute. You see the fire extinguisher straps on it. That's what this is. And I got that online. I'm trying to remember where exactly. I don't think it was eBay, but hey, who knows? Might be on there. But really cool stuff. But that's what the straps are on the nitrous bottles. And it's also on the door panels, and I'll show you that here in just a minute too. But I want to give you a look at this in case if you can find it. And like I said, I've got this in several widths, and I think I've got that in red. I bought from them at the same time. There was a red version too. Anyway, got that cleaned up, redid the fire extinguisher again, and of course you see the strap holding it down there too. I love the battery box. That was a resin piece I picked up at a show somewhere, and I wish I'd have picked up a whole lot more. I think it was a 2-pack. I think I painted them both at the same time, so I don't have the package anymore. Goofy me. Usually I keep empty packages. And by the way, this little wrench that's laying down here by the NOS bottles, that came with that. So I'm pretty sure that's something to do with nitrous bottles. I don't have nitrous in my cars, but I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought that would look good displayed right there with it too. Some of the other little goodies here, photo etch wise, is you see the switches here, and those. Speaking of which, as we move forward, we'll go on over to the door panels real quick, and the dash too. I'll get that over here. If you remember the door panels, we cut everything away, sanded them smooth, and then we just did a plug, did some cleanup, some putty, and we did a 2-tone on the interior. Did the semi-gloss red, the flat black, and then made us some armrests there. And there you see the power switches on the armrests there on both sides as well. On the dash, I did clean some of that stuff up a little bit. I wanted to have that semi-gloss sheen on that, and we used, remember, a couple different carbon fiber backings for the instruments. The steering wheel, so I wanted to focus on the steering wheel. The steering wheel, we modified, if you remember, the 58 Vet dash, and we used the steering column and the steering wheel out of a I think it was 97 Corvette, And I just love the two-tone, like two-tone the steering wheel there. I thought that looked pretty good. I do have one more piece of photo etch that's going to go right here, the Corvette emblem. That's going to go right over that Corvette emblem. And it fits it like it was made for it. And of course, here's some of the other photo etch that you see here. My favorite part of this whole dash is still my CD, which is popped out of the CD player. I just think that is so cool. When I saw that on the photo etch fret, and that is called Interior Junk from Detail Master. They have CDs, cassette tapes, that kind of stuff in their interior trunk, clothes hangers, just all kinds of stuff. But as soon as I saw that, I went, oh, dude, I got to do that. And it made it up to the Model Car Garage photo etch CD player and everything. Just great. Really looks sharp. Let's look at the engines real quick. You know what? Before we get to the engines, here I am rambling again, guys. Let me share with you these carbon fiber decals that I use. The decals inside the trunk are, well, all of the decals are from Scale Motorsports. And the reason I like theirs probably better than anybody's is they're very, very opaque. You can't see through them. They're just really good decals. And this is the carbon fiber twill weave, and this one is I think it's black and silver, and yeah, that one's black and silver too, so that's just an extra set of those. And in the trunk, and well, this is what was used in the trunk, as well as the front air diffuser. As you see in this picture, you'll see it better. You can see it better here. And by the way, guys, that's just airbrushed future floor wax over this. And the same thing on the firewall that you see here, which is already installed in the car. And the tray in the trunk, sorry guys, I keep hitting that cable on the camera. The tray that the nitrous bottles are sitting on is the other pattern, which is just, it's not the weave, it's the high def carbon fiber. I wanted to have some contrast, but you really can't see it with this on it. Well, you can right here in the corner, just a little bit different weave. And also the bolt heads that hold the tray down for the nitrous bottles. I don't know that you can see the one in the back. No, you can't. But I've got these on both sides. That's from, not Detail Master, ProTech. And these are 30 thousandths nut and bolt heads. And I also used the 20 thousandths on the engine and in a couple other places, and I'll show you that stuff as I get to it. But I think the contrast looked pretty good, and when I put the bottles on it, it kind of covered everything up, so it's kind of hard to distinguish the different pattern there, but yeah, it's not gonna. Anyway, I know it's there, so there you go. Engines, like we discussed before, I want to have the display engine kind of sitting beside the car, like a show car would. At a high-tech show, you got the engine. And by the way, all the photo etch stuff for Corvette that you see all over the engine, everywhere, is all Model Car Garage. And so there's our display engine, and the engine that goes in the car, you notice it sits so much lower. Well, this one's on a display stand, but you also notice this one's got your standard gloss black oil pan on it. And the one that's going to be in the car, because of how low the car sits to the ground, we went with a flat sump type tank. So it's going to have a little better clearance, and then our exhaust is going to be able to move a little easier too there. And the pulley faces are Model Car Garage. I got so much photo etch and stuff from everywhere, guys. I can't even remember where half of it came from. The wire looms, all that stuff is Model Car Garage. And our tranny, which when it goes in the car, of course, it'll just mate right up to that. And one of the things I did on both engines this afternoon was I went back and I added, if you can see the linkage, well, hopefully you can see the linkage there. And then I made a throttle spring on both. And the valve cover breather is just a piece from Detail Master as well, part number 3111, which are technically NASCAR breathers. And I think those look pretty good on here, though. Oh, my linkage is in a, well, I guess that would be a closed position, but I haven't hooked that down yet. But that came out really, really nice. Honestly, guys, once the paint is dry on the body, I'm going to start final assembly here probably in the next day or so. Radiator. Now here you see we're using the stock radiator, which has been modified quite a bit, and I took a fan shroud out of a stock car kit and trimmed it down to where it would fit and lock into the radiator really well. And then I went to some of my Train extras. And by the way, you've heard me say this before, but if you go into a Train shop or any hobby shop that carries Train stuff, don't leave without going over and looking at the photo etch and the accessories for trains, aircraft, tanks. Look through the photo etch thinking cars if you're a car builder. You'll be surprised what you're going to run across. This fan unit, there was 2 or 3 to a pack that you see here. This thing, they're 3-piece fans, and but it doesn't matter what brand it is. This is for, I think it was for a SD60 through SD80, and they're the exhaust fans on the top of train engines. But man, they're perfect for HO. They're perfect for 24th, 25th scale. And as you see here, once you snap the fan in and this little locking ring, these things actually work, even though on a static model you don't need them to. I think it's cool that they do. Isn't that cool? I kind of like it anyway. So what we did was we mated everything up. We set, as you can see, the angle that's going to be sitting at. It's going to be kind of leaned back, racy looking. And you can see the fan blades down in there. And again, if I can get my thing up in there, they turn. How about that? Cool, huh? Anyway, so this is going to be sitting kind of at that lean back racy angle. But I think that turned out really, really nice too. The inside fender wells, I made a template using the contour gauge again, and then went back to our same carbon fiber we used in the trunk, and we cut out, sorry guys, I didn't realize I was almost off camera there. Then we cut this out, and the reason I do it on a 3x5 card to start with is this way, if it doesn't fit, I can trim it down a little bit by little bit until I get a nice fit, and then I transfer this pattern over to my decal stock, and then Booyah. And then, of course, this will get a coat of clear over it, too, when it's installed. But we've got one of those made for both sides, and I think this has come along really, really nicely. Like I said, I've got the base on the body now. I've got the stripes to paint tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, probably get the final color on it, and then we'll be buffing a little bit, cleaning up, and this should be done pretty soon. I may hold off the reveal a few extra days after that while I do some tweaking. One thing I forgot to do was painting under the hood and the trunk. And as you can see, this you can see some sand scratches. This is 1000 wet sanded. It needs one more coat, and I'll do that in the morning first thing. One more coat of paint, and same with the hood. And by the way, we are going to be using, I'm painting both hoods, but we are going to be using the flat hood. I think for some reason that just, the custom, it just looks, when I mock it up, it just looks a lot better. But on the underside, I left the louvers. I just thought they looked really cool. So I am going to leave those in here. And you can see the scratches where I've been sanding on that too, doing a final water sand. I usually hit it with my base color, do a light water sand with 2000, get it in the dehydrator, get it dried really good, and then I get another coat and then another coat. And usually 2-3 coats will do, and depending on how smooth it is, I'll buff it out, or I'll go ahead and get my clear on it. It's going to depend. But this is going to have different tones on the paint too, so it's going to look good. If you remember, it's going to look like this, which the black is satin, which I think just looks cool against that high gloss white. But that's where we are, guys. Going to get the colors on the hood and deck lid on the other side tomorrow as well, and the base, and we'll get everything together. Pretty much everything else is done. I'll have the interior all glued up and ready to go in the morning, and everything just rocking right along, guys. Looking really, really good. I appreciate you hanging around, and some of you have seen some of this progress on the Facebook groups, and thank you for checking on those and the kind words that you put on those as well. It is appreciated. It really is. Any questions on how I did anything specific that I left out? Hey, feel free to ask. It's no problem. That's why we're here. Head over to HobbyNut Models. Speaking of model car detail stuff, Mark's got some brand new stuff in the detail line for autos. Be sure you check that out. And while you're over there, look at the photo etch as well for aircraft, tanks, that kind of stuff. I use a lot of aircraft photo etch. Just, it's crazy what you can find when you're not looking sometimes. Some really cool shapes and just doodads. Some of the flaps on aircraft just work perfect on all kinds of stuff. Well, guys, thanks so much. Head over to the Teespring store. Check out what we've got over there. And we appreciate you guys. God bless you very much. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.